Hey guys, Reuben here, Audio Mentor, and I've been getting a lot of questions about what and why you need an audio interface. I've got some questions here I'm going to read out for you. Should I get an audio interface? I'm making basic EDM music. Do I still need an audio interface? I'm doing film scoring. Which audio interface do I need? Now, if you're new to buying your first audio interface, it's perfectly normal to think of questions like this, so don't be shy because that's what I did when I was first starting out as well. Now, before we go on, you need to understand what an audio interface is. So, an audio interface is basically an external sound card which connects to your computer via USB, Firewire, Thunderbolt, or whatnot. And basically what it does is it records analog audio in form of your guitar, your microphones, or your keyboards into the audio interface, which then converts that analog audio into digital audio that fits into your computer. So from your computer, you probably do some processing, editing, and mixing right there, and then when you play it back, it gets processed from digital audio into analog audio for your speakers. So basically, that's what an audio interface does. Now at this point, you'll be wondering, why do you still need an audio interface? Now there are two reasons for this. Now the first reason is, no matter what kind of producer you are, you could be a rock producer, a pop producer, a hip hop producer, a film scorer, there will come a time in your career where you have to record a vocal take or guitar, a guitar recording. So when that time comes, an audio interface will be really helpful. And the second reason is you'll be battling latency issues. Now latency is the time delay when you press a key on your keyboard and the time for your sound to come out from your computer. So that's latency. If you're on a Windows machine, a PC, and you're using Windows sound cards, you will know this problem as well. When you press a key on your keyboard, it probably takes like half a second or up to a second to actually hear that key, right? So that's latency. And an audio interface actually helps cure that. So you have near to zero latency when you have an audio interface with your setup. If you're on a Mac computer, then you have Core Audio sound cards, and Core Audio is pretty much okay for music production, so that's a thumbs up for Mac users. Now there are a few things to look at when buying an audio interface. So the first off is inputs. So I always advise buying at least two inputs for an audio interface because it gives you more options when recording things like keyboards when you need a stereo input. If you only have one input, then you have to record that keyboard in only mono, which would sound bad. And if you're recording things like band, if you're planning to record things like bands, then you want to actually have more inputs, like 8 inputs, or you can get audio interfaces that allows you to expand. You can buy an 8 input unit and then stack it up with another 8 and get 16 inputs at the end of the day. Now, second thing is outputs. Now, how many outputs do you need? If you're a film scorer, you probably want to do surround mixing, and you need to have at least 6 outputs or 8 outputs for your computer to output, to a surround mixing system, right? So that's outputs. And number 3 is to look at the quality of the preamps. Now, preamps are things you use when you use microphones with audio interfaces. So most audio interfaces come with preamps today, but not all of them come with very good preamps. So if with a bad preamp, you get things like sound, bass, fuzz, and that's really bad for recording. So the best way to do this is go into a store and just try microphones on different audio interfaces. Now the fourth is to look at the DA and AD converters. Now DA, if you remember in the earlier thing that I mentioned, DA stands for digital analog conversion and AD is analog to digital conversion. So that quality of the AD and DA is very important because you don't want to be compromising your sound when it goes from the analog domain to the digital domain and from the digital domain to the analog domain. So it's very important to actually get good converters built in the audio interface. And the best way to do that is to go into a store and listen it for yourself as well. Now, last but not least is to look at the manufacturer's reliability. So what I mean by this is when you buy an audio interface, you want to use it as long as possible, right? So for example, let's say today Windows 10 rolls out and your DAW have a new update, right? But your audio interface is still stuck in the driver which is updated for, let's say, Windows 7 or 8. And basically you're screwed because you cannot use your audio interface together with Windows 10 and your new DAW, so that's bad. So always look for an audio interface manufacturer that actually updates and create updates for the audio interfaces. Okay? Now I hope this video helps, and if you need more reading on audio interfaces that are written about the what, the whys, and which audio interfaces you should get this year for your production need and your home studio, down in the description below. I place links all right there, so help yourself, okay? And hey, I do also have a course on audio interfaces, on recording on an audio interface, so if you're a beginner in audio interface, you might want to join that course, also link below, okay? So again, if you have any questions, please ask in the comment section, ask in my blog, and I'll reply to you. And as always, keep on making music. Reuben out.